Hi, I'm Tristan, and this is Thinking About Politics. Today, I'm thinking about the French Revolution. Again. Because there are some striking similarities between pre-revolutionary France and contemporary American society, like taxes. See, the SparkNotes version of the French Revolution goes like this. The monarchy was in financial crisis because they waged a lot of expensive foreign wars, and they couldn't tax the richest people in the country. That would be the clergy and the nobility. And so taxes fell primarily onto the common people. Flash forward to today. A ProPublica report that was just issued details the immense disparity and unfairness of our current tax system. Jesse Eisinger, who's a award-winning journalist, was on the show Amanpour and Company, being interviewed by Hari Srinivasan.
What we show is the system and the system's essential unfairness, which is that average Americans are stuck in the tax system. We have no choice in the matter. The wealthy, the ultra wealthy especially, are completely outside of this system entirely. And what we show is that some of these guys, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Michael Bloomberg, Carl Icahn, they actually paid zero in federal taxes in recent years.
What the ProPublica research revealed is that there is a gross unfairness in our current tax system. This is where regular working people are taxed at a higher rate, a higher percentage than wealthier counterparts who exist outside of the tax system, who don't draw income the way working people do. Why don't you listen to Hari Srinivasan and Jesse Eisinger set this up.
In your analysis, the 25 richest Americans showed by the end of 2018 were worth $1.1 trillion. It would take 14.3 million ordinary American wage earners put together to equal that same amount of wealth. The personal federal tax bill for the top 25 in 2018 was $1.9 billion. The bill for those wage earners, the 14 million wage earners put together, was $143 billion.
Those 14 plus million people are inside the tax system and they're paying their fair share.
You could kind of think of this as two different tax systems, right? When you have equal amounts of money on either side, and one is taxed at about 14% and one is taxed at about 1%. One side of that equation is owned by 25 people, the other side of that equation is owned by some number of millions. That's unfair. And the way this works is, when my wealth is not coming from income, when it comes from the things I own, well, I don't get taxed on the value of my things owning going up. So my coffee cup, if this value of this here coffee cup went up to $1 billion, I'm not going to get taxed on that. Not until maybe I try to sell the cup. And then what I get taxed on is going to be the difference between what I paid, about $1, and what I got, which is $1 billion. So if I'm somebody like Elon Musk and I get paid primarily in stock and property, well, here now I have all this fancy stock, right? The stock's just a piece of paper. That stock increases in value. Now, there are obviously going to be some bright people who are going to say, hey, but in order for you to use that money, in order for Elon Musk to use that stock, to get the cash to buy a new yacht for his yacht, he's going to need to sell that stock. And when he does, he's going to get taxed on that increased value. Not so fast. You ever heard of the mantra, build, borrow, die?
Buy, borrow, die. You buy your asset or you build your asset, then you borrow against it, and then you can evade or escape or avoid, not really evade because it's all legal. You can avoid taxation at death. You can avoid the estate tax through different kinds of maneuvers. And then essentially your great fortune has been almost untaxed throughout your life and into death.
So if I'm a billionaire, I just decide to go to a bank and say, I'm good for it. I got multiple billions of dollars in stock. Why don't you just loan me a couple of $100 million at 2 or 3% because that's cheaper for me to pay you back than it is to pay Uncle Sam if I actually cash that out and look like I made 200 million?
Yes, banks are happy to offer these guys. They are good for it, and they charge relatively low interest rates. And you just roll over that debt all the way, sometimes all the way until you die.
See, so instead of Elon Musk selling that stock and paying a tax on it, he's able to go to a bank and borrow against it. I will spare you this nonsense for now. But income that gets taxed is any clear accession to wealth. Any time I get money in my hand I didn't have before. Subject to any time the tax code says, except for that. And there's a lot of exceptions. So, I'm Elon Musk. I have a stock. That stock shoots up in value. Well, is that a clear accession to wealth? Maybe, but the tax code says we don't have to tax that yet. Not until I sell it. Well, if I don't sell it and I borrow money from like a bank, well, do I get taxed on the money I borrow? No. Because I'm borrowing money, it's offset by the obligation to pay it back. So the IRS doesn't tax it. And now you have a pattern where you can go your whole life without paying taxes on that debt. Meanwhile, those of us with nothing to sell but their labor, those of us who have to work for a living, we're getting taxed at an average rate of about 14%. It's much higher than our wealthier counterparts. So what are my takeaways here? First and foremost is the amazing work good journalism does. We would never know any of this if it weren't for ProPublica and their hard workers out there going out and getting the truth for us. Second is that we have a serious problem if the tax burden is so unequally distributed that regular working people have to bear the brunt. Right now, we need infrastructure in this country. Right now, we need bridges, roads, schools built, broadband. We need all sorts of stuff that we can't have. There is an infrastructure bill right now in front of the Congress. And the big argument is, well, how are we going to pay for it? The reason you don't have bridges, you don't have roads, you don't have schools being built right now is because some elected people don't want to tax the rich. Because some elected leaders believe that it's somehow in our benefit to let massive fortunes build up and to let them get away and exit the tax system. So we need to do something about our tax system. It is only fair that the rich pay their share. And there may be a lot of solutions out there. I'm interested to hear what you think would be a good solution in the comments below. Do you support sales tax? Should we be taxing stock transactions? Are there different, more exotic sort of ways that we can tax the wealth of the hyper wealthy? And if you're looking to help this channel out, motivate me to keep going and make more videos, please consider giving a like or a subscribe or share this video with your friends. And please, and share these videos around, especially with folks who are hostile to taxation. I'd be very interested to hear what the counter argument is. Check out the link in the below. Please watch the episode of I'm Poor & Co. They go into a lot more areas than I covered here. Always great interviews on that show. All right, so I'll see you all this Friday. We're bringing back Ballot Question Bonanza, and until next time, keep thinking. I ain't got time to kiss you now. I'm busy with this mule.